You know what?
What?
Let's press him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't exactly have an idea. I kind of forgot everything.
They when they said this testimony for the first time, I couldn't find any inconsistencies. So let's just press them for more details
Okay.
and see if we find anything new. No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't find that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of uninformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it?
Yeah, how do you see?
How could I?
Yeah,
He
you're
wears
wearing
glasses.
yeah, you're wearing very
say.
like thick glasses.
And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Tinson! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all,
Oh
don't
man.
you? And let us not forget that antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Is that so, Kurikuta-san?
Didn't he basically say the same thing? Like,
Repeat, please.
he did say basically the same thing, right? He heard a gunshot and he looked back and he saw Ryunosuke, having a gun.
As we saw the animation before the very episode, we saw that they both looked at the direction of the sound, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe they saw. But Kurikuta says that he was under the table.
Yeah. So his testimony is even less reliable. Also, Kurikuta like literally talks like Yoda, huh? Pointed again at the fireman, he was.
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I told you already that it's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I had just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. At exactly that moment.
Oh, I just freaking realized. Like, this case has to only work in the olden days, because in the modern days you could just use the ballistic markings to know if the weight of the bullet inside the body fit the gun that Ryunosuke was holding, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I get it.
Yes. But their science was a bit not that great.
Yeah, not that great.
A gunshot rang in my ears. You were Kurikuta.
Full of events beyond our control, life is.
Sorry, what do you mean?
In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Oh my god. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the bomb from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result.
He also doesn't understand.
Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you. With the pistol in hand standing over the foreigner.
Furthermore, a visual search would miss the tank. I'll press. You must have noticed some Someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and again. I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, and someone else would have noticed her.
Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant.
I know. Of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect.
Certainly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was any reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Hot dog? Oh wait, what? Hot dog clinic is still in this day and age?
Yes. It's that clinic.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Okay, well, some famous clinic, huh? Hot dog clinic.
Yeah.
Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. Ah, I see. 19th November.
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation could be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case.
I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke?
Huh? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really.
Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence, if you think it could be useful.
Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted?
Yes,
to the
yes,
evidence or not?
ask
for
yes.
it to be submitted,
Yeah.
of course.
Of course.
If you can, why not? If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds?
It explains the victim's motives, why they had to dine specifically at 14. That alone is
The
enough.
court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Yeah, whether or not they are concerned is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
You have no authority to refuse the perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense request.
Gangsters these days have forever asserting their rights. It's most disturbing trend.
Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record.
It is medical report, okay.
What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, if they don't seem relevant at first. I see.
Right, I hear you.
So that...
You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival ready for you. What?
Yeah, it's he's saying
What
that
did you say?
he's saying that the festival is. No, I didn't say anything. You're asking me, right? Yeah. Let's go.
Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies
Leave no room.
leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurkuta-san. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone.
That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in.
So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Is that interesting? But let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beef steak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No.
The antiques dealer, the surgeon, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? Bribery!
If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, Cadet? Clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion is just not possible.
Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just the case of these two witnesses alone.
Sorry?
The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone.
That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman would be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that.
Excellent work, Hironosuke. We've gleaned some new information now.
Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can see that it brings any real discrepancies to light.
I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before.
Oh, you mean this?
Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. Wait.
How exactly?
Oh, we haven't.
Tutorial again.
You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. There are ones you may examine. Oh, I see. Okay. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use RS. Okay. Oh, I see. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick of your
Left. Yes.
of your Xbox controller in this medieval era. in this 19th era, of course. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that you have missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail.
Alright, I'll see what I can do. Need to use la 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 and A to expect any areas so the evidence look suspicious. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for the translation. It says Hota Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries.
Aren't they all the same thing? Oh yeah. Aren't they not?
When I was 5, I got the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Brrr. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life.
Most people will give their right arm to have had only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Yeah, maybe we should look at the back.
Yes. It looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago.
It's probably a record for a long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine.
Well, I can't imagine going to a doctor. I mean, as long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one.
Damn. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point, so you don't like doctors then?
Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you are at your lowest EBB. EBB.
Huh, but I don't know the word. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is a very bitter medicine indeed.
Okay.
Oh. Oh, you can open it, that's so cool!
Yes.
Let's have a look. There's some kind of a medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day of the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia.
Do you know what mola means?
I don't know. I think it's really important. Tooth with a rounded or flattened surface, adapted for grinding. Extraction of molar, I say. It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Oh, I see. That's why he couldn't have been eating it, maybe. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief.
Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia.
Yeah.
Although it's hard to believe there is anything that can actually stop you feeling pain.
Oh, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed.
Really?
Sounds like information worth bearing in mind.
Medical report card's information has been updated. Okay, thank you very much. This new information.
I mean, to be fair, this is very circumstantial. Like, John could just go, I don't care about the docs, I'm just gonna eat, and go against what the doctor said. I mean, he might have been that type of guy, but yeah, this does help.
You know, his name, victim's name is actually Dr. John H. Wilson, so I think that he may be paid attention to other doctors' words.
So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Yeah, you used this definitely, yeah. Oh yeah, that's the one. You used the medical report on that.
Are you sure it's medical report or not crime scene photo?
No, okay, it's medical report
first.
Because, yeah.
Well, I think,
About what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer?
I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused.
Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it.
Thanks, Kazuma.
I will see it quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. When you raise your hands straight up like that, so purposefully, You knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking.
Alright, and thanks for the advice. Yeah, deep breath. Kurikuta-san, this is the medical report card belonging to the victim.
Ah, I see, and I don't see. What if it, boy? Yeah, he doesn't see because he's
Explain
old.
what is written on this report card with your witness statement. Something really doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant.
That's where you're wrong.
But that's,
Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point.
Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial further.
Huh.
Witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who... Nice slash. Nice desk slam.
Yeah.
This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outbursts have petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be irrelevant? Perhaps because Hotta Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted.
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what you're trying to say, cadet. He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure, while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Kurikuta-san!
What, boy? What? Look into my eyes.
You need to fix your... Yeah, you should definitely fix your glasses. As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all.
No. No.
Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic.
Yeah. That's
By the way, this theme, if you hear it,
yes,
do you
I
hear it? This music is called Prelude. Wait.
Is it not the
Prelude
new
to
pursuit
Objection or
theme?
something like that.
Oh no.
Ah!
Expertly done, partner.
What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Use your head.
For once.
Yeah. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned.
both senses.
Wouldn't you agree, Yunosuke?
Yes, most definitely.
So, having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. I mean, to be fair, I think the detectives should say something, right? Because they took the picture, they knew exactly where the body was.
You will see what will come next.
Okay.
Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it?
Alright. The answer to the question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of.
Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been the victim himself, me, the two witnesses,
Yeah, third
and
party.
as yet unknown third party, yes. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the person's table, professor's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her.
When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through our ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly.
Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government?
Don't worry, Consul. I have no issue with you.
What do you mean?
I have issue with them! Those two witnesses in the stand. What?
What are you talking about?
We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you'll be charged with perjury.
Perjury?
And since this is a murder trial, you'll also be deemed complicit in the killing. Damn! Complicit? In the murder? Man, the rules were really harsh back then, huh? No!
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hold it! Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting.
What?
I was just following orders.
Yeah, sure, the military guy says he was following the orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say, you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh yeah, now they're like, I see, so they did get bribed. Interesting. Oh.
Yes. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kurikuta-san?
Oh, no.
You were just following orders?
No, hold on, lad. I was, Say, you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean, you saw the victim with a lady from overseas?
What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one simple sip of the tongue.
Order! Counsel, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You try to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Oh. What?
Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut?
Well,
That's classified.
So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you?
You wouldn't. This can't be happening.
Runosuke. Judging from the way they're reacting to this, I say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aochi had any idea about it. So he was just reaction testing Aochi? Huh.
What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. Could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose.
Well, I mean, if you're a millionaire, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit.
So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut.
Of course, we'll need evidence before we can make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here.
But how? How can they possibly...
Remember how we made progress before?
For?
We examined the piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result.
Oh yes, that's right.
Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers! If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait! Your Excellency! I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about all this, hmm?
Well, Your Excellency... no time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout out the first name that comes to my mind.
Oh wait, that's actually a pretty bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's the other side of that! This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think.
Definitely.
It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there.
Exactly. That's not all. Look here in the upper left, where it says kitchen.
Oh, that's the kitchen. Oh yes, what of it?
No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen, especially not if they were in a hurry.
You mean you don't remember these characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Yunosuke.
Okay. Entrance.
Yeah.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hasanaga? Okay. Now that's new.
Well, that's unexpected.
What is?
Look, do you see it says the victim's witness's name here? Satoru Hasanaga.
Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point.
It's not a name that's unexpected, it's his job title.
His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hasanaga,
Mhm.
Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth?
I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here.
The waiter's business card information has been updated. Okay. So, Hasanaga actually is a chief inspector, but also a waiter. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is you.
Yeah.
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hasanaga-san.
Hasanaga-san, the waiter who took the stand earlier.
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence.
For once, I will agree with you. If that is the man truly were a waiter.
What? If he truly were...
Come on, Runosuke, time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hasanaga-san's real identity is proven by this. The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree, it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything.
Sorry, Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest.
The front. I beg your pardon? Just say the front.
Or perhaps should have said the front? Yes! It's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is.
Will somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Just flip the card. Hasanaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of the business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. Wow, he really was doing this so fast. The waiter's profession, but that's surely... Good. Good gracious. That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses, they're in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene?
Well...
Oh, dun.
Inspector Hasanaga.
I was worried that something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are.
Yes, I remember now.
Yeah, I kinda
That's
guessed that there's something on the back. Okay.
Yes. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card.
I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say you really are a detective?
Yeah, chief, nonetheless.
Chief Inspector, yes. But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course! Your salary must be terrible.
I was working undercover.
Undercover?
Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That will be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hasanaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. No, of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses besides you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Will that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency.
Unbelievable!
As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an English woman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders.
Special orders? You mean to say...
Remove the English woman from the scene at once. Oh, that's why everything is working out like this. It is made clear that the English woman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. Just following orders, huh?
But what if this English woman was the killer?
I think it will be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of relationship with Britain more highly than anything at that moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that will be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case.
But it's not right.
One possibility does spring to mind.
What do you mean, Kazuma?
Yumei University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical facilities research laboratory, is a young English woman. Oh.
What?
You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour.
You mean?
When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the courtroom demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The English woman sitting at the university professor table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett.
Giselle.
Oh, Giselle Brett. She's indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory at Yumei University's medical facility. Faculty, yeah. Medical faculty. Yeah.
What is happening here?
I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene. And ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well, my thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it will be discretion of our justice system to ignore the truth and give ruling at this point.
But Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government would surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it's my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly.
So it would be a problem? It won't be a problem?
Nothing will get in my way. Okay, dude. He's kind of dying. Like, nobody asked about his cold. Court will adjourn briefly. I think we should only briefly talk to
It's not cold. I think that he has some kind of cancer.
Maybe. The prosecution must call the English student,
blood.
Giselle Brett, to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes. Your Excellency!
Good. Then we will have a 40-minute recess before reconvening.
To be continued.
To be continued. Da-na-na.
22nd of November, 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants at the chamber. 5.
Excellent work, Yunosuke. That was superb.
My heart was in my mouth the entire time.
It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer.
Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again.
Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she?
That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along.
Yes, you have, haven't you?
I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of.
Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that?
No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of rest myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. Just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of a small pantry next to the kitchen.
Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay.
Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you.
Professor Mikitapa.
Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you made an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say.
Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I won't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial.
Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I want you to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled.
Well, it makes no difference. Love it or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway.
What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. Don't look at me. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and recover what really took place at that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA, and it was I who invited him. Oh, I see.
I didn't know that before. I didn't know that before.
Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible.
But let's not forget who we're up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide.
Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that your pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need.
Yeah, of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow. Those old fossils will know what's hit him. Hit them.
He smiles. I like Kazuma so much.
Yeah, Kazuma's pretty cool.
Kazuma.
What?
Thank you, really.
What for?
Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now.
Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend.
Coming from you, that means a lot. If I am found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, I absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll say the thank yous for after the trial.
You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course.
22nd of November, 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom number 2.
The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Auchi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Subpoena? Huh. That's a word.
Yes. Sapona. Sapona. Yeah, okay, Sapona. The witness. Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain Jan Striplin, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry.
Let the government scrutinize, that's their job. It's nothing to worry about.
It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Would you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry.
If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke.
What do you mean?
A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinion, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England?
Shut up! Shut up, you jumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert, I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But sitting here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all.
Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror.
Little brats!
Thank you, Counsel. This court is a pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Barrett.
Yes. Your Excellency!
Whoa! A little swan on your hat. Okay, that's cool.
Yes. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea! Some rank English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea!
Is that true?
No idea.
So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head wait.
Yes, we know all about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always the ladies first.
Is that true?
No idea.
I freaking love.
Yeah, the
Shitty
interactions are
humor.
great. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are one thing you are sure of.
Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I?
Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Yeah, Kazuma-san asking. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are solely lacking.
Guilty. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please.
Oh, she's
What?
speaking English, probably.
Yeah, they're speaking English. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what?
I'm actually interested in seeing the Japanese version of this game, because in the Japanese version they might actually put on English text. Maybe.
Yes, yes, and I think it actually meant something. But here we just see some kind of
Yeah, scribbles. Which is very, looks very
letters.
fancy, but scribble, scribble,
Question.
scribble. Scribble?
Question mark. Just say question mark.
The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty.
Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid that I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as hummingbird's song.
As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Oh, I see. So he knows a bit of
Yes,
English.
I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Your English doesn't rattle you at all, does it?
Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. Oh wait, he knows? The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago at a restaurant called Le Carnaval, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time.
That you were banging, that you were doing.
Is that correct?
This second letter looks like a B
A B?
for me, anyway. B.
Oh, yeah. Maybe. Like, it doesn't look like a B, the second letter. She says yes.
She says yes. This could take some time.
So info she's studying here in Japan. She can't speak any Japanese. Yes, She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the bureau.
Well, now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order! Order in the court!
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolute conclusive witness statement.
Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who are real enemies. Yeah, I'm just eating a bread. With no skin. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of your threatening and sample sight you described.
Witness testimony. A frightening and sorrowful sight. This will be one heck of an interesting testimony.
I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. This is a condemnation.
No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Pray forgive my sister, please.
Yeah.
Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. And look at this snow-white angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe.
You're still making the same mistakes, Yunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn.
But he's so annoying.
Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before, and reported back to the bureau. I was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. It was decided Miss Brett was not involved. The testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today.
activity.
I see. As you can see, there's nowhere about her person where she could have concealed a firearm. I mean, in
I
that
would think
giant
she could
hat,
hide a gun
maybe.
almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to.
Yeah, especially under that giant hat.
Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown. This is moot.
There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun.
No, that's wrong.
Those are the witness's own words on the matter.
That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up your dress, I could prove it.
Don't think about doing anything rash, Yurunosuke. Yeah, he reads him very well.
But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day.
You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart.
No.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Wait, please, I need to
Yeah,
open a door to my cat.
okay. To the kitty cat.
There, done. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Cross-examination.
Yes.
After 2 p.m. in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it? Actually, no. I have lunch at 1:5 p.m. Somewhere here. You don't keep with the latest fashions from the Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No. Do you see it?
Wait, I did see it. No. Wait, I actually wasn't
British
present.
no.
I was
That's how
actually
we
like
should,
going
write
for the
no
drink.
in British.
Could you look at the logs? Can I look at the logs? Real quick. The size of English no has quite a sting to it.
Yeah.
The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it's apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first.
Yes, which you can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier.
That's right.
Where?
Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense.
Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is.
So we both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next?
Yes.
He wasn't able to eat, you say. That was because he just had a tooth removed at hotel clinic, correct?
That's right.
You are supposed to actually check with the witness before answering.
Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment.
So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is it right, Miss Brett?
That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events.
Exactly as it was left? Dear me, what a horrible experience. To have traveled to a distant land on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight.
So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right, other than some carbonated water.
Just water?
Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each.
Yeah.
They each raised a glass of carbonated water.
What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement? Yeah, we have to add it.
That statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well. How fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing, I like transition from his serious from
Yeah, he's
to
fidgeting.
scared.
The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense called for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well, sidestepped, counsel.
Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Wait, the mask is smiling? I mean, I guess she's smiling
Yes.
behind the mask. Wait,
The mask is smiling. She doesn't have eyes, as you can see. So
the mask is
her
smiling.
eyes are the mask.
Yeah. Gladly, she said.
It was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one.
Which one?
Significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase.
I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke.
It's my first case, so how do you know? Now hold on. No!
It's so cool. It's so cool.
I didn't want to press, I wanted to present. Said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. But if we
Yeah,
watch
there's
right
no
here,
I see. There's no glass for
there is
only
only one glass.
Yeah. I see, so you got it.
So yes!
Yeah, I was kind of slow on that.
That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's through this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left.
That is correct, the lady says.
Well, that is, it's odd, very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself.
Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you?
Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Bridges told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1.
Oh! You're quite right, Consul. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over a miniature? Miniature? I don't know how to pronounce that. What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection! Miniature, you say? Hiya! Could it be that the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I'll never do something so reckless. I mean, you kinda did.
Yes. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1?
You are quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table.
Something on English.
Yeah. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table.
What?
It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I've been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious!
Sorry. On English. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd!
Yeah.
Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this venerable, young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No, this can't be put down to mischief.
I'd like to know. Exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Oh, she did have a handbag, and therefore she can shoot. So yeah. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch, commonly carried by well-to-do women in England.
So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the code with their logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. And no more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth, we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, no, really.
If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show there is a deeper significance.
Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there. It's...
The handbag, the handbag.
The handbag! Yes. Wait, lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun.
You're right. Well done, partner. I had the feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hasanaga!
Yes.
Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder?
No, sir, I did not.
As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No!
Order! Order! Order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Auchi?
Why did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your body incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask.
Do you think so, Kazuma?
Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary.
Unnecessary in what way?
I have to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Britt's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside.
Who wears handbags like this?
Yeah, like that's weird. That's right. Apparently, the meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Like if you put it something small, it will just spill out. Exactly, so there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Maybe the bag has two openings. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Britt's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhoto-san.
Damage. He got damaged.
Yeah. It's a bit different than Phoenix's one. Order! Order! Order in the court! Inspector Hasanoga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. Yes. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel.
Second breakdown.
The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed, there is only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma?
Wait, Kazuma, I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue.
What? You mean this is it?
I mean, we weren't.
I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but we can't meet. While the strong... Alina, замолчи! Wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. Effect.
Look at you.
Come on, Alina, stop it, please. In fact, you can chew onto your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through
Wait,
his
he's not
fingers.
the defense attorney. He's fine, right? Or not? Wait, like, yeah.
Repeat please what you just said.
Kazuma?
Repeat please.
He's not a defense attorney, right? Since he's just only assistant Ryunosuke.
But Mikotoba said that if this trial will be failed, then Kazuma will not be able to go.
Ah, that's weird. Yeah, that's
It doesn't
weird. Okay.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kazuma.
What? What?
Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around?
You heard the judge. There's nothing about the last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Come on, dude! Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. What if the bag has 2 openings? That's the interesting part. Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little... Yunosuke Naruhodo, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby...
Wait, Your Excellency!
Yunosuke.
I don't think you can rule on this case yet. This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes.
Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling in this case at this time would be out of the question. This is blatant stroke clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentleman was carrying on the day in question. There could be no problem with this evidence.
You'd better know what you're doing, Yunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
Ha! My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I'm desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it.
Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency.
Yes, Your
Oh yeah,
Excellency.
I'm sorry. So take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hasunaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this picture we see the significant details to which you have alluded. Oh, that hand, yeah, the hand has a mark on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a bull mark here.
I see.
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist.
That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description. Oh, I see.
Dear me, I was pondering what new people you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, there's a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. Or either, I don't know how it's right. Someone says either, someone says either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Auchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It will seem Miss Brute has a lunch appointment with the Dean and the other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful.
Yes, you're right.
I am?
If you can just link the burn to the case, we can do that. We might be able to press the shutting door back open again.
Just give up, Consul. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is a little more than conjecture. But if you had evidence... evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face.
Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of the truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that the victim died from being shot from a point-blank range, right? So maybe the victim just kind of pressed his hand, like his wrist, onto his chest, and the bullet, like the gunpowder, was there. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. It's probably wrong. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. But it's literally shaped like a ball. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. He put his hand on
I can even give you magnified grasp.
I see. So he actually pressed his hand onto this, yeah. I see. You're helping me out. Yeah, I did
But
not notice
if
that.
he suffered this burn mark, then he surely must have been dead at this point already, right?
Yeah.
Yes!
What's this, Council? Yet another print?
Yes, Your Excellency. I believe the photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at the scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore.
What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Yeah, the ball shape mark.
They still didn't see. Okay.
Yes!
The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on.
The plate. Oh.
Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of the carnival.
Oh. Oh.
This emblem on the plate
Yeah, he burned himself on that.
and the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah!
Ryunosuke, you genius! You got this! You're spot on.
Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Auchi, the chances of that are extremely slim.
Thanks. Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure.
can you be more specific, Inspector?
Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It is inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Like, the only thing I could think this is related to the case is because in order for Ryunosuke to like shot the victim from in front of him, Dr. John has to like turn around to face Ryunosuke, and if that's the case, then the burn marks wouldn't make sense. The only way it would make sense is if the Dr. John was like looking towards the lady and was eating, and then he got shot and he put his hand onto
Yeah, I also think that he suffered that
like
burn
right after
mark,
he got shot.
After he was dead, yes.
Yeah.
There you have it, something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds will scream in pain.
Yeah, this is really good.
There's no question of that.
And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream, nor on that day or any before it.
That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either.
What are you suggesting?
Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day,
That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel.
then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the surgeon, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would without any question have heard him scream. Would you agree, Professor Kutarauchi? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream?
I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think?
Can it really be true? I never dreamed to derive a conclusion like this, but I started to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap.
There's only
Wait!
Wait, what?
Now that I think, you know, I just got this one. So I think we are wrong. I think our theory about him being dead and only suffering this injury after he's been dead.
Oh.
First of all, this plate might already be cold because Giselle was eating.
Oh wait, I'm stupid. The victim was not eating. I'm stupid. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm being dumb. Like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
There's only
stupid.
one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. Of the day in question, when he suffered the burn of his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, but I just think the way I said it is wrong.
No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. It's really impossible,
Yeah.
apart from in one particular situation.
My only thought is that the victim was trying to attack the woman. So the woman shot, and after the shot, the Dr. John landed on the plate with his hand, with his wrist onto that ball metal thing, and burned himself.
I can give you one little hint.
Okay, I mean, don't give me the hint. We were already going there, so. Counsel, are you suggesting?
If he was dead for more than 3 seconds, then it was not because of this gunshot. because right after the gunshot, everybody came near this table, and
Yeah, that's the way. When they came, like the doctor was just on his chair, right? So my fear also kind of
yes,
doesn't make sense in that sense. So that's super weird. Yeah.
and in animation which we saw, his hand, it was his right hand, right? uh, so he put his hand because of the gunshot off the plate. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember it, unfortunately. Like, like
Okay, you'll
the animation was
understand
stuttering
everything
a
soon.
little bit, in my opinion. But like, even then, I didn't pay that much attention. I suppose. Yeah. But let's continue. I think the story will just reveal itself.
Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead. Already?
Dude.
Knowing what you know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
Whoa!
That's madness.
Order, please, Consul. Explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
No, Professor Archie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. Yeah, like when did the
Beg your
burn
pardon?
happen? Yeah. As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from the witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard. Ah, I see. It's highly likely the miscreant knows something about it.
Yes. It makes you the prime suspect.
Incredible. Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, how did she carry the body to be placed there, if that's the case? I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events.
She didn't carry the body, come on, how...
Yeah, she didn't, it's just, yeah.
Wait, I think you're saying that he was dead before coming even into the restaurant?
No.
or what?
Yeah, I think I was also going towards that, but it's probably also wrong. So he was dead sometime before
Yeah, it's
the gunshot, I
absurd.
guess. Yeah. Sometime before
She
the
will be
gunshot.
caught in no time.
Oh, I see. So the gun was a ploy. So, yeah, I see.
He was killed in the restaurant, but before the gunshot.
I see, yeah. Maybe some sort of a poison, something like that.
Yes,
I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett. That you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
but Your Excellency...
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy.
Wait, I just now understood something.
What?
If... No, it's not right. Never mind.
But rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment.
Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, delighted to help.
Oh, you bastard, you could talk.
You bastard, you could talk. I should remember that phrase. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? No, I speak English, you dumbass. Well, of course I do. I'm studying in your country after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible.
Damn.
She just insulted them.
Yeah,
them
like
all.
all of them.
All Japanese people. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of the true English gentlewoman. You are truly honored by this. We are truly honored by this. This lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke.
So now you're calm. Okay. Witness testimony. The victim's death. Oh, it's Allegro. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem reports showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there is some other way of man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me.
Poison, poison!
But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. I like when Allegro plays, it means the shit just got real.
Yeah. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you.
Easy does this. Easy does it. I hope this is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to our country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Amen. Thanks? Was it a prayer then?
Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you noticed this little bully of a student, as you put it. Doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I'll be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear?
concentration.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Then you may proceed with the cross-examination.
Cross-examination. The victim's death.
Yes!
But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly in those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You cannot have noticed, can you? What? Ah!
What?
What fun! You hadn't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right.
As your friend, you embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Come on!
Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorably silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? You know who she is? Who she reminds me of?
Dahlia, that's
She reminds me of Celestia Ludenberg from Danganronpa 1.
yeah, that's true. But also like Dahlia,
Because of
right?
how
Like
she...
Danganronpa. I mean, Ace Attorney has that one archetype of ladies who are just crazy. You know, Dahlia, Alita, and now she. Brett.
Yes. Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway.
Yes!
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered the drink, correct, waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir.
Waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir. Like, is my volume low? Like, Alpha?
Sometimes I can't hear you well, but it's not a problem.
Huh, that's weird. Is it the internet
Although-
connection or something? Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the stick to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that.
Damn you!
What?
I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefit of others in this court, it means bless you.
Very funny.
Ouchi, you are such a dumbass. I think it means the exact opposite. Right. Anyway.
Yes!
I mean, yes, but only because, like, it's not good, right? Like, not actual people, like...
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. It is there were no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death. It can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter.
Like, maybe the gun had a silencer? Like, that's the point? That's the only thing I can think of. Like, did gun...
Silencer?
Yeah, the
What
guns
kind
with
of
silencer did exist in this time, maybe?
Huh.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, like my theory now is that the woman shot the man with the gun with the silencer, and she put the silencer somewhere.
But then, okay, I understand your point. But then she should have another gun at her disposal.
No, it
second
was the
one.
gun that Ryunosuke
The
found.
first one.
I think it's the gun that Ryunosuke found. She killed the man and put her off the silencer, and then threw the gun onto the floor for Ryunosuke to pick up. That's my theory.
It's actually a good reasoning.
Yeah, the only like problem
your
is that I
phrase.
don't know if a gun without silencer exists in this time period. Yes, that's true. And also, you know, gun without silencer still makes some sound.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, if it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that.
And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as it was brought out from the kitchen, then he must already have been dead at that point. And how did not the waiter notice? And yet the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Aren't you able to show the court evidence to disprove that this is a complete waste of time?
I concur. Prosecutor Auchi is right.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace? Is someone shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from the height? However a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Is that right, Inspector Hosonaga?
As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation.
There will be physical traces with all those causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark? If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question? On my own, I, the Kitsuchi Auchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace.
Yeah, I think it's leading towards some sort of a poisoning. We need some evidence to back us up here.
Yes, evidence.
But like, would they know if a poison was used?
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for late examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it. Is that so? Quite right. The carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost.
Yeah, there's probably some issues.
It doesn't even occur.
Yeah.
It doesn't even occur to you naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about it as I can. You understand? A killer below. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Oshi is finally starting to see sense.
No, he's just simping. Oh, very much doubt that.
Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. Did you notice?
I think it was like when we were talking about the cause of death or something like that. Maybe.
So you didn't notice, okay.
Okay, I mean, let me look at the evidences at least.
It's not the evidence
Oh my god, it's
Never
not
mind.
the evidence.
for now.
What do you think, Ryunosuke?
I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press you, I'm not turning up any new information.
Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over.
But that would mean how to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma,
What, Ryunosuke?
there is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me.
What bothering you? You mean about the Miss Brett?
Actually, no.
Oh
About the
yeah.
person standing next to
I
you.
mean, when they were
Inspector
talking about
Kusanagi.
the police force not checking everything and stuff, there was this weird the guy was acting weird. Hasunaga was acting really weird, right? That's the only thing I noticed.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
The detective.
Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening maybe.
Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time.
If you think so, but this,
But this time, instead of targeting the woman herself. Let's see what we can get out of the detective.
alright then, I wonder what Kazuma's thinking.
I mean, damn,
I'll find
Detective
out soon
Kuruba
enough.
also like taking out
I
of the
suppose.
gun himself, since he's in on it. But yeah, let's continue.
Once I pressed Miss Brett on her last statement again. Now watch Hosanaga's reaction.
Yeah.
Yes! Wait.
Yeah, you have to press that? That... button.
Yes, there it is again.
Yeah.
Detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why?
Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Britt as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity.
What do you mean?
When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down.
Right, look at him, he's lost in his own thoughts.
It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought.
Sorry, pursue?
I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker.
What marker?
At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Oh, I see. But by moving the marker left and right with the left and right stick, you can turn your attention to the other people in the stand. Interesting. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch the person just at the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around.
Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with the sticks and focus on the detective. And pursue him with A and see what's on his mind. Here we go.
Wait.
Yeah, you press left and...
Excuse me.
Excuse me! Yeah. What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts, deeply.
It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. And that's a crime.
Yes.
Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say.
If there is something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful English woman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works?
Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness.
Yes, not to mention the fact that he is intimately involved in the case.
Inspector Hosonaga.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless.
What do you really mean by that?
I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. Oh, come on, man, you took the gun. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Dude.
Crime scene thief?
Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this for example. Huh.
Is that?
This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says.
Yes, there is some left in the bottle. I can see it.
One day our police force will be among the best in the world. One day our police force will be best. The time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept a glass of bowl of water as evidence.
Carbonated water has been added to the court record.
Miss Brett, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to have averted her eyes when she answered the judge's question.
Very well, counsel. You may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor.
Okay, so we got new evidence. We got this bottle.
Yeah, I think we need to examine that.
So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had.
It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now.
You know, I've been sweating so much. I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going.
No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence.
Oh no, you're right. We don't know what may be inside, do we?
You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one.
I wonder, could there be anything in this water?
What's the matter? You've gone quite quiet all of a sudden.
I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it is? What it says, Kazuma?
I think it's French. This must be very expensive water.
Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking.
Then go to France and ask.
You could just say that you don't know. Okay, so maybe he was poisoned
Yeah,
through
maybe.
that bottle. Please do show me. Okay, I'll show you.
Yeah, the bottle.
I'll show you.
Yes!
Yeah.
Giselle, bitch.
What's this? The bottle of water.
Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to
It's
mind.
like, that's the thing, like, I think it's just because this era is so old school, it's in the 1960 or so, 1920 or something. They have no idea to know if someone was poisoned or not, huh?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
They will explain it later. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Kasanaga is shocked. Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? So actually, it's 1899,
Oh,
the year.
1899. I see.
Yes,
I see.
1899. And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor was able to slip the poison into his drink, there was only person who could possibly have done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
If I may, I will silence you forever for this. Oh my god. It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady! Where did it come from? She just snapped. She said, shut up. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring?
I described the police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, we still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not.
Of course.
You did?
Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? Yeah, like... he's been hiding a lot of things. I strive for a flawless investigation every time.
I don't believe it.
Naturally, we tested inside the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present moment. At the present time. We will find no trace of poison of any description in the bulk of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. Well...
No. No! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. He's dead. I was so sure.
This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. I'm not really... like, how did the lady make the gunshot sound? With... Thank you, Constable.
She shot it from the real gun.
Yeah, oh!
That's all.
Yeah, but like, we're still questioning on how she carried the gun away. That's the question. Like, even if she had two guns...
Ryunosuke said that she had almost every... She could hide a gun almost everywhere in her dress.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, yeah, in that sense I do agree. Yeah, like she could just open up her, I don't know, like put it under her, like, neck, like under her clothes. I mean, it's possible. Thank
Do
you,
you
Consul.
remember Genocide Jack from Danganronpa 1?
Yeah, like, yeah, she could hide anywhere. Thank you, Consul.
Where did she hide her scissors?
I mean, at least Genocide Jack had her pockets, at least. I think her clothes at least had some pocket. Thank you, Consul. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution has asserted, a shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit.
I'm done for.
The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point?
Kazuma?
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Oh,
Oh my god!
please wait.
Isn't that?
What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. She was at the scene. Susuto Mikitoba, judicial assistance to the defense.
Susato.
Susato. Mikitoba.
Kotoba? In my darkest hour, with now left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be
Wow,
continued.
for
So,
free
I
parker,
suggest
that's
that we will... I suggest that we should finish here,
Yeah,
because I'm kinda tired.
yeah,
You
me
may
too.
too,
Like, it
because
was
it's,
great. It was